parenting is truly tough both mentally and physically. I wish you would understand just how much I need your support right now. I tried my best to persuade Jason. Enough. I'm at my limit hearing Mia's crying every night. Isn't taking care of the child a mother's job? Where I go and what I do is none of your business. I was shocked at Jason's cold words. That's awful. Planning a trip to Korea with my sisters at a time like this. You're so selfish. I'm going to enjoy my time without my wife. Jason said with a smirk and left the house with a big suitcase. I wanted to chase after him, but I couldn't leave Mia crying in the other room. I was deeply saddened, and my tears wouldn't stop. I didn't work past 30 just to support such a selfish man. I wanted to share life supporting each other as a married couple. However, it seems Jason has no intention of working. Furthermore, he's been taking my gold card from my wallet without permission and using it without hesitation. I don't want to be played by a cunning person like Jason anymore. With that thought, I started thinking of ways to trouble him. My name is Ashley, and I'm turning 34 this year. I joined a major company right after graduation and have been working there ever since. I met my husband, Jason, at a bar I frequently visited. He was working as a bartender. Jason is 28 years old, 6 years younger than me. He's a very handsome man with a pleasant personality that everyone acknowledges. He always listened to my work-related complaints, and eventually, I started going to the bar just to see him. And after a while, we started dating. But my parents always discouraged me from marrying him. Every time we met, they'd say, "Why don't you date a man from your company?" However, my determination remained unchanged. When we first got married, Jason took care of all the household chores. Being a bartender, his work started in the evening, so he took care of things during the day. "You must be tired. I'll make dinner at night." Jason always spoke in a caring manner. When I returned home, a meal prepared with love by Jason awaited on the table. Every day felt blissful, and I genuinely felt that marrying him was the best decision I had ever made. However, as time passed, I noticed a change in Jason's attitude. It happened when he saw my paycheck. One day, I had casually left my paycheck on the table, and when he saw it, he exclaimed in surprise, "Ashley, you're earning this much?" Staring intently at the paycheck, Jason's eyes were filled with genuine surprise. I never really gave him details about my income until then. "And I knew you worked at a major company and must be getting paid well. But I didn't expect it to be this much. I work tirelessly and can never make this amount." He crossed his arms and spoke to me and didn't look satisfied. One day, Jason gave me surprising news. "I quit my job today." "What? Why?" I was so shocked that I raised my voice. The idea of him quitting his job without discussing it with me was unthinkable. "Compared to your salary, mine is nothing. I think we can live comfortably just with your salary. I'll handle all the house chores in exchange for quitting my job. You just focus on your work." Wait, this is too sudden. For the past few days, I wasn't feeling well, and I had just taken a pregnancy test that I bought during my work break. The result was positive. I was pregnant. I was pondering when to tell Jason about the pregnancy, never imagining he would drop such news on me. "Jason, we're having a baby?" "A baby?" Jason looked genuinely shocked by my sudden announcement. "I just did a test earlier. I'm going to be on maternity leave. So I'm a bit worried about you quitting your job right now." I hesitated a bit, but I candidly shared my feelings with Jason. However, he immediately responded, "Your company pays you while you're on maternity leave, right?" "Yes, they do." I was confused. "I'm pregnant, didn't you hear?" He didn't seem happy at all, but instead, he kept asking about how much I'd earned during my maternity leave. Jason said, "I'll handle everything at home, including taking care of the child. I want you to focus on work and bringing home the bread." His words sounded caring, but it didn't seem right. I knew there was a difference in our incomes, but I never anticipated that I would be the breadwinner of the house. Why this sudden shift? My trust in Jason was falling apart. A few days later, I went to the hospital, and it was confirmed I had a life growing inside me. The morning sickness was more severe than I expected, and I had many days that I wasn't feeling well. Despite all that, I continued working as hard as I could up to the very last moment before my maternity leave. Jason, having quit his job, was always at home while I was at work. However, after a while of being a stay-at-home dad, he stopped doing household chores. Coming home tired from work, the house was a mess. Unwashed dishes were piled up in the sink. "No, welcome back." Jason was relaxing on the living room sofa, didn't even move, having his smartphone in one hand. "I'm home. What's for dinner?" "No. I went to the gym earlier and ended up eating at the cafeteria." "Sorry. Can you just heat some frozen food yourself?" Jason nonchalantly pointed at the refrigerator. Exhausted and hungry, I didn't have the energy to object to Jason's words. That night, I did as Jason suggested and heated frozen food to eat alone. Time passed, and my maternity leave started. As I stayed home, Jason did even less chores. Even when I asked him to help out more around the house, he would say, "You're home now too. Expecting me to do everything is ridiculous." He would leave the house, visibly irritated. As these daily tensions escalated, our relationship deteriorated rapidly. Fortunately, the baby inside me was growing healthily. And then, the time came, and I gave birth to a healthy baby girl. We named her Mia. I didn't return to my parents' house after giving birth. Instead, my mother came to stay and help out. I have an older sister named Emily, who is 2 years older than me. She's already married, living with her husband, David. They don't have kids, and Emily was a housewife. A little while after Mia's birth, Emily came to visit. "Ashley, congratulations, and good job on giving birth." She brought gifts to celebrate Mia's arrival. "She's so cute." "Hi there, Mia." Emily seemed genuinely thrilled about her niece's birth, looking at Mia with adoration. I noticed Jason was looking at Emily with a strange smile on his face. Compared to me, who had always been focused on my career, Emily was beautiful and charismatic, often catching the attention of many men. Every time Jason saw Emily, he seemed completely taken by her. "Isn't it a bit hot today? I'm getting thirsty." Jason quickly went into the kitchen, took cold juice from the refrigerator, and poured it into a glass. "Emily, here's cold juice for you." "Yo, thank you, Jason. You're so thoughtful. I wish my husband was like you." She laughed and drank the juice all at once. Jason, blushing a bit, kept sitting next to her. Ever since Mia was born, Emily's visits to our house have significantly increased. Each time, Jason seemed visibly pleased. He didn't even look at me, that was exhausted from taking care of Mia, but was always engrossed in his conversations with Emily. Several months after Mia's birth, she started crying more at night. Every night, I accompanied Mia during her cries and was completely drained from the lack of sleep. On the other hand, Jason became increasingly irritated with Mia's non-stop crying. And it's so loud. I'm at my wit's end. I can't stand living in this house anymore. I began to feel the anger against his attitude. If you hate being home so much, why don't you go work? You don't help with the household chores or take care of Mia. Why are you even here? However, Jason glared at me and said, "We're fine living off your maternity allowance, so there's no need for me to work." That's when I realized he had no intention of working ever again. He was completely reliant on my income. We need money for Mia and our future. I can't believe you. Her father just sit around doing nothing, unable to hold back any longer. I yelled at Jason in anger. Without a word, he started walking towards the entrance, seemingly about to leave the house. "Wait, where are you going?" "To Emily's place," he muttered, putting on his shoes. "Wait, what did you just say?" I couldn't hide my astonishment. How could he go to Emily's house when we were still having an argument? That evening, Jason sent me texts saying, "I'll be staying at Emily's house tonight." When I called Emily right away, she said, "It's okay, every couple fights," laughing. And the next day, Jason came back home. As I approached Jason to talk, I noticed he was busily preparing a large suitcase. "Jason, what's with that luggage? Can't you see? I'm packing for a trip." "Trip? What do you mean? What on earth is he talking about?" I didn't even know where to begin asking. Lately, I've been mentally drained. I talked to Emily about it, and she suggested a change of pace with a trip. A trip. We're to in South Korea. We're going to eat good food and I'm going to get refreshed. I'll be back in 3 days. Hearing such a sudden and selfish decision, my mind was spinning. Wait, is it just the two of you? What are you talking about? David is also coming, Jason said, laughing. I'm exhausted from childcare, both mentally and physically, and I need your support now more than ever. Aren't we supposed to overcome this together as a couple? I wanted to somehow persuade Jason to stay, and I suffer every night from Mia's cries. I'm really at my limit. Besides, isn't childcare a mother's job? Where I go and what I do is none of your business. His words echoed coldly. I can't believe it. This is too much. Leaving me and Mia behind for a trip to Korea at a time like this? Sometimes it's okay to have fun without the wife, right? We'll all have a good time. With a smile, he grabbed his luggage and left the room. I wanted to chase after him, but I could hear Mia crying from the other room. There was no way I could leave my crying daughter behind to chase after him. I decided to contact Emily right away. Sorry, but when you're stressed, you need a break, right? It seems Jason was feeling low. I found some available seats and managed to book them. David was able to take a short break too, so we decided to go to Korea together. Oh, seems like our taxi's here. Talk to you later. Wait, Emily? Just a moment. I tried to stop her, but either she didn't hear me, or she just hung up the phone. For a while, I was dumbfounded. Then, a sudden thought struck me. Jason doesn't have any money. How does he plan to pay for a trip to Korea? I had a bad feeling and quickly checked my wallet. It's gone? the gold card that I had inside was missing. That card was provided by my workplace, with the annual fee being covered by my company. The gold card was gone from my wallet. I quickly called Jason. Jason, you took my gold card without asking, didn't you? Yeah. Remember when you went to the restroom earlier? I borrowed it then. We can use the airport lounge with this, right? We're going in to enjoy some champagne in the lounge right now. Jason sounded far from guilty. How dare you take my card without my permission? It's the same as theft, I shouted with all my anger. Haha, you're calling me a thief? Why are you so angry? I've always been living off your income. Using this card is just the same as always. I don't see the big deal. Anyway, bye. With those words, Jason abruptly hung up the phone. The more I thought about it, the less I could understand. From the next room, I could hear Mia crying. Looking around, the house was a mess, and nothing had been done. I too have been devoted to Mia, day and night, mentally and physically exhausted. Yet, while Jason and the others are enjoying their trip, I'm left here alone like this. I couldn't bear it any longer. I collapsed right there in tears. I have an idea. I'll contact the card company and have them suspend its use. I started looking for the card company's phone number. Wait, is this the right move? After pondering for a while, I put my smartphone down. I'll let Jason use that card during the trip. And at the timing when he most needs it, I'll suspend its usage. On the third day of their trip to Korea, I contacted the card company and had the card stopped. Immediately after, I got a call from Jason. It seemed they had checked out of the hotel and arrived at the airport earlier than expected. Hey, Ashley. We were relaxing in the airport's special lounge using the gold card. But suddenly we were told to leave. What's going on? Confusion and surprise were evident in his voice. Oh, well, that card was stolen from me. And you aren't a legitimate gold card member anyway. Maybe people who don't belong should leave, right? I replied coldly. Did you suspend the card? There was a tremble in Jason's voice. Exactly. And I can't believe this. Am I going to be interrogated? It looks like they're going to take me away. Some security guard has grabbed me. He detailed his current situation very thoroughly. When someone who isn't the card holder uses a card, it's considered a fraudulent activity. Didn't you know that? It's only natural for them to stop you. Wait, what should I do if I can't return to Japan? Jason was panicking. Seeing him like this, I couldn't help but chuckle. From what Jason told me, it seems like Emily and David were also being questioned for similar reasons. To my surprise, it turns out all the expenses for this Korean trip, including Emily and David's airfare, were paid using my gold card. I was utterly stunned when I found this out. I couldn't believe it. Emily and the others' expenses were paid with my card. After a while, Emily called me. Ashley, what's going on? Do you know we're being held up at the Korean airport because of you? Emily was speaking rapidly as if blaming me for the situation. I was just as surprised. Why was my gold card used to pay for everyone's trip? I had to go because Jason looked so stressed. David and I decided to go to Korea just to help him. It's a trip for Jason's sake, so isn't it only natural that you, as wife, cover the expenses? I was taken aback by Emily's audacity. It seems she had been paying for all her shopping and meals with my card as well. Anyway, activate the card now. There's no way I'm going to do that. When I firmly refused, Emily's anger seemed to erupt even more. Who do you think you are? Always working and only able to make money? I can't believe you had a baby before me. Get the card working now. You have tons of savings anyway, don't you? I was shocked by Emily's hurtful words. However, this must be Emily's true nature. Emily, always being the cuter one, always was frowned by others. Has always looked down on me being so modest. The fact that I became a mother before her seemed to have hurt her pride. Suddenly, I could hear David's voice on the phone. Ashley, it's David. I'm truly sorry. I was lied to by Emily. What do you mean, lied? Emily told me Ashley is begging us to travel with Jason because she can't. She'll cover all the expenses. And that's why we're going to Korea. I couldn't believe it. That Emily had been feeding David such false information. But anyway, I'm planning to buy a ticket and go back to Japan with my own money. David made it clear that he would leave the two behind. I could hear Emily's panicked voice from the other end. Wait, what are you saying, David? Why are you going back alone? It's just as I said. I have my own money and card. I'll buy my ticket with my own money. But why alone? If you have the money, but a ticket for us too? We won't be able to go back. Joined by Emily's angry voice, Jason's voice can be heard too. Please help us, David. Please pay for our tickets. The desperation in Jason's voice was evident even over the phone. I'm not going to do that. I was surprised by David's firm refusal. Of course, the actions of Jason and Emily were unforgivable to me. But why was David, who was supposedly just deceived, rejecting these two so much? The answer became clear with David's next words. Ashley, you might be surprised, but please hear me out. Emily and Jason are having an affair. An affair. I was astonished. David seemed to have been suspecting the increasingly close behavior between Emily and Jason lately. One night, when he came home from work, he said the scent of Jason's cologne was thick in the air. Furthermore, that scent reached their bedroom, and David felt something was off. But there was no concrete evidence of the two having an affair. When I was invited to the Korea trip, I suddenly thought that it was a perfect chance to uncover the truth about their affair. So, I pretended not to suspect anything and went with them. I had been concerned about Emily and Jason's excessively close relationship for a while. I had my doubts about Jason, but didn't really think he would have an affair. I always thought Emily, being my sister, wouldn't possibly have a relationship with my husband Jason. Even if Jason made moves on Emily, I believed she would firmly reject him. I truly trusted Emily, my sister. But that trust shattered in an instant. On the first night of the trip, around 3 a.m., I saw Emily leave the room and enter Jason's room across the hall. I saw it with my own eyes. I was shocked by David's story. Emily, I pretended to be in a deep sleep, but when I heard the door close, I hurriedly got up to check where you were headed. Then, I saw you enter Jason's room. Jason gently wrapped his arm around your shoulder and invited you in. That's not, David, weren't you sound asleep the whole time? Emily spoke to David with a bewildered tone. I was just pretending to be asleep. I thought you'd sneak out of bed and go to Jason's place if I was asleep. And it turned out just as I suspected. Wait a minute, Emily was mumbling, trying to come up with excuses. Lately, Jason has been coming over a lot, and every time he came, you'd greet him all dressed up with a lot of makeup. Did you think I wouldn't notice? You both better stop taking me for a fool. David, driven by anger, raised his voice. Emily and Jason became speechless. I was shocked when you returned from Jason's room and slept beside me as if nothing happened. Have an affair with your brother-in-law. Unbelievable. And the next night, you spent another 2 hours in his room, right? Did you think I didn't notice the first time, and so you let your guard down, David? You noticed all of that? Emily asked David with a trembling voice. Yes, I was awake. I pretended to sleep perfectly though. Having an affair with your brother-in-law on a trip with your husband. I can't believe you. Jason, I'm not forgiving you either, David. You see. Jason stumbled over his words, unable to articulate a proper rebuttal. David said to me on the phone in a stern tone. So, that's the situation. I'll be returning to Japan. And leave these two behind. That's okay with you, Ashley, right? Of course. Jason and Emily. I hope you stay happy in Korea. No need for you both to return to Japan, as I replied sarcastically. I could hear Jason pleading in the background. Please, just give us money to return. We'll do anything. Jason, didn't you have experience as a bartender? Why not find a job at an airport bar? And Emily, why not leverage your charm and attract customers or something? I replied with a chuckle. After that, David returned to Japan as planned. We discussed and decided to proceed with a certain plan. The two of us, in the gaps between work and childcare, steadily advanced the plan. As for Jason and Emily, it seems they eventually sought help from their parents and managed to return to Japan. Then, I received an angry call from Jason, who had just returned home from the airport. Hey, Ashley. I just got home from the airport and my key doesn't work. Plus, what's with this note saying the room is vacant? Jason seemed to be quite panicked by this unexpected turn of events. Yo, that apartment. I terminated the lease. What? It was under my name. So, I can do whatever I want with it. I responded calmly. Where's all my stuff? I threw everything away. Nothing of yours had any particular value. And no dealers were willing to purchase it. You've got to be joking. You can't seriously have done that, right? Jason appeared very agitated. You just came back from a trip, right? That means you have the basics with you. Why not try sleeping outdoors? Sleep outdoors? What the hell, Ashley? Where are you now? I'm not telling you. Mia and I have moved, and we're living happily in a new place. I answered with a slight smile. And I'll give you back your gold card, so please meet with me. Let's talk. Jason was desperately asking to see me. I stopped that card already. I don't need it anymore. I responded coldly. The reason I allowed you to use my card in Korea without saying anything was because it was part of my plan to burden you with debt when we got divorced. Divorce? Debt? What are you talking about? If it came out you stole my card from my wallet and used the money without permission, I would likely win in a divorce trial. Jason, in confusion, responded, Wait. You can't divorce me. I have no home, no job. How am I supposed to live? I don't care. I've decided to raise me on my own from now on. Wait a minute, Ashley. I was wrong. I apologize. I don't want a divorce. I ignored his desperate plea and hung up the phone. Emily too seemed to be panicking after losing her place to stay. David, where are you now? I can't get into the apartment. How am I going to spend the night? Please help. It seemed Emily had hastily contacted David. I let go of that apartment. I'm divorcing you. From now on, we'll communicate through lawyers. Don't call me directly. Goodbye. Wait, David. What happened with Jason was only because he was so insistent. The only person I really love is you, Dorothy. Even though you happily entered Jason's room 2 days in a row. Do you know how much it hurt me to see you and Jason laughing together on the trip? I don't even want to talk to you anymore. After that, it seemed David cut off all contact with Emily. Thus, Jason and Emily, having lost their homes and still carrying their luggage from the trip, were left wandering the streets. A few days later, I officially divorced Jason through a liar. I then demanded compensation from both Jason and Emily. Furthermore, I required Jason to repay all the expenditures on the credit card. David and Emily also divorced, and both Jason and Emily were billed for compensation. The two abandoned individuals somehow managed to find a place to start a new life. They chose an old apartment that was several decades old. Jason searched for a job, but wasn't able to find one that easy. Eventually, he took day-to-day labor at construction sites and helped with moving tasks. On the other hand, Emily was also a search for a job. But since she had no work experience after getting married, it wasn't easy for her to find a job either. She tried out a job in the night industry, but Jason was strongly opposed, saying, "Please don't do that kind of work. You were a bartender before, weren't you?" It seems they got into a big argument. While the two were having an affair, they were attracted to each other without a care for their surroundings. But now, after their fierce quarrel, they choose to lead separate lives. Both are forced to live a hopeless life. I got custody of Mia, and will be living as a single mother. I applied for parental leave at work, and now, without financial worries, I am fully committed to raising Mia. When I return to work, I plan to put Mia in child care and get through daily life with the support of my mother. Every day, Mia is growing up healthily, and I am moved by her progress. I put Mia in a stroller and go to the local park to let her play. I am living a peaceful daily life while deepening interactions with other mothers. Certainly, there are many challenges, but I intend to enjoy life to the fullest while cherishing the precious time with Mia. And when it's time to start working again, I am determined to work hard to secure a steady income. With such a mindset, I am positively walking through life with Mia.